Emailing's Do's and Don'ts by Shannon Smith, LTEC 4510-021. Has anybody ever set their alarm for 6 a.m., check their email, and then go back to bed? Or they wake up to the sound of the alarm and they turn off the alarm and they check the email again? Does this routine sound familiar? I can't be the only one that is nearly attached at the hip to my phone, checking email constantly. Email has been arguably the number one form of communication for business since the early 2000s, with email being a key piece in the way we communicate. There are certain do's and don'ts we should be following while emailing. Do make your email personalized. No matter whether it's an internal email to your best friend, coworker, or a message full of important information to a client, you should always get in the habit of addressing them by first name or Mr., Mrs., so-and-so. A good rule of thumb is to address this person as you would address them in the conversation. Do be adaptable. By this, I mean know who your email recipient is. Study past emails this person has sent. Recognize their tone or writing style and adapt to that. If they are short and straight to the point, it may mean they are an extremely busy person. So try and be concise in your response emails. Okay, let's talk about the rules of appropriate email. In the subject line, state clearly what the email is pertaining to. This is like the title of a paper you've written, which lets the reader know what the subject matter will be. If you are emailing more than one person, be sure to address the person you wish to respond. Otherwise, the email can quickly become a tug of war with responses from other individuals. Although technology is ever-changing, basic rules of etiquette still apply. Courteous electronic communication means that you treat others as you would have them treat you, even when interacting via a computer screen. Follow these tips to help you communicate electronically, politely, and effectively. Human contact still matters. Don't communicate electronically at the expense of personal interaction. There's a reason people often need to discuss things face to face, and there are times when no substitute will do, whether you're breaking up with your boyfriend or asking your boss for a raise. Watch what you say and how you say it. Whereas the computer brings people together, its impersonal nature can lead to remarks that people won't think of saying in person. Do whatever it takes to stay courteous, even if that means taping a note to your computer, reminding you to be decent and polite. Be careful when you click the send button. Always review your email grammatically and read it back to yourself out loud. That way you'll know whether the tone of the email is appropriate. Whatever you say in cyberspace cannot be taken back. You have no control over where your message goes once you hit that send button. It can be saved or forwarded by any recipient who chooses to do so. Consequently, words have come back to hurt people, destroy friends, and ruin careers. It's also very important that you double check who you're sending the email to, because a lot of people have the same last names, such as Smith or Jones or Matthews. And you can easily end up sending an erroneous email to the wrong individual, and that could cause an awful lot of conflicts in the workplace. When sending email, if you have several questions on a specific topic, use numbers. It is always to the sender's advantage to state that in the subject line or in the first few lines of the email. Yes, it is okay to use the urgent button. Just think about the email before you push the button to determine whether the receiver will think the email is urgent as well. Okay, let's talk about anger and emotional emails. We've all received one once in our lifetime. It is critical that you never respond or send an email when you are angry or emotional. You need to step back and breathe. No one likes to be a target of an angry email. You need to address with care. When sending an email to a long list of recipients, don't put all the addresses in the to and the CC lines unless it's a business email. Most people don't want their email addresses displayed for all the others to see. It's better to send messages individually or use the blind carbon copy feature, which allows you to show only one address. What's your subject? Fill in the subject line. Even in personal email, the subject line should be succinctly identified what you are writing about. No yelling, please. Avoid typing your message in capital letters because caps are like an equivalent to shouting in an email. Also, beware of conveying anger and frustration by your choice of words. The recipient will hear that anger and frustration in your writing. It's the same when you're talking to somebody on the phone. You're able to tell whether that person is smiling when they're talking to you or whether they're frustrated and are frowning. When you're using emoticons to show your feelings and stuff in emails, it's appropriate to do that in personal emails, but it's really not in business. So when you're making smiley faces, happiness, frowny faces, you're displeased, you're winking, you're showing shocked, all that, skeptical, you need to watch those symbols. Email is singularly lacking in subtlety, and language that the sender may find funny or clever can easily be misunderstood by the recipient. If used, emoticons are better suited for casual messages between friends than for business emails. Likewise, be careful when using online abbreviations or text speech, since they will leave some recipients scratching their heads. Your online identity, choosing a screen name. When you're choosing a screen name for online use, it is best to choose a name that is untraceable for safety purposes and privacy. Most internet names are lowercase for visual purposes. Language. tone down your language. Written text can easily be misinterpreted. Avoid the use of strong or offensive language and the excessive use of exclamation points. It is especially important to choose the right words to get the meaning across and not just be in the moment. Salutations. To 1, 2, or 3 people, state each person's name in the salutation. Dear Tom, Mary, and Jim. When addressing a larger group, you can use a common salutation, such as Dear Team. In the case of an email reply, use a salutation in the first reply. After the first reply, it is no longer necessary to keep using a salutation. Think of the email chain as being in a conversation. You don't need to keep saying the person's name every time you reply. When closing, it's important to have a strong finish, particularly in business emails. It's also useful to include information about yourself in case anyone might want to know other ways to reach you. If your email program does not automatically sign your message with your name, your address, your email address, and your phone number, add it yourself. For a chain of reply emails, it is necessary to include the information with every response. Check it over. Be sure messages are clearly organized and grammatically correct. Write a complete sentence and always check spelling and punctuation, especially in business emails. Be sure that you reread the email before you send. Make sure the email is concise and that it follows the basic conversation guidelines of the other individual's format. Photos and video. Photos and videos are so fun to share with family and friends. Only send photos and video that are appropriate for all age groups. This will seriously reduce the possibility of offending others and causing a problem that you don't want to have to backtrack on. A good rule of thumb for business is not to email out personal photos or videos to other coworkers. This can be distracting and it can also be offensive. Respect works both ways, and it's very important when you're emailing other individuals. Respect others and their opinions. In order to get respect, you must give it. You need to consider the other person's privacy and never be snarky in an email. It will come back to bite you. Safety. There are a lot of online predators and emails are forwarded all the time. For your own safety, it is recommended that you do not share your personal information with individuals that you do not know. Never give anyone your birthday or your home address. Be safe online. I see it all the time. Friends and families are at basketball games, family events, they're at the movies, they're posting live videos and pictures, and they're doing it on Facebook, and they're doing it on Snapchat, and they're telling the whole world that they're not at home at the moment. or that they're on vacation in the south of France. Predators are always looking for these opportunities. This is a very dangerous situation, and it really needs to be addressed, because every time you turn around, you hear about somebody being hurt or damaged because of something like this. When you post things on your emails and let people know that you're going to be out of town or that you're going to be going on vacation or other things, be very careful who you send that information to. Last but not least, the good old-fashioned golden rule. Don't say it online or in an email if you wouldn't say it to the person's face. If you don't want it done to you, don't do it to someone else. And if you can't say it nicely, seriously rethink it. To check out other resources and references on communication, you can go to communispond.com, How to Use Email Communication Skills for Good versus Evil, posted by Bill Rosenthal on Monday, January 28, 1913. The website is listed below. Also, Madison Area Technical College Online Etiquette Guide, Dictionary.com, Wikipedia.com, Netspeak.com. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good day.